We are living in the last moments of the last days, and the world is about to drastically change, and probably 85% of the population has no idea what is coming. So Damascus, which is the oldest continually inhabited city in the entire world, has officially fallen. But why is this so significant? If you will open up to the book of Isaiah, you will find that he prophesied directly about the complete annihilation of the city of Damascus, which has not happened ever in history. So could this event be the catalyst that ushers in the complete fulfillment of this prophecy? But the significance doesn't just stop there, because this prophecy also alludes to the fall of a part of northern Israel. And what that means is we could be watching in the very near future, not just the setup, y'all, but the start of the Ezekiel 38-39 war, otherwise known as World War III, one of the largest events marking the beginning of the tribulation. Let's first read what the prophecy actually says. Verse 1, a prophecy against Damascus. See, Damascus will no longer be a city, but will become a heap of ruins. Now, a lot of people wrongly claim that this prophecy has already been fulfilled, and it was fulfilled in 732 BC by the Assyrian Empire. But a quick search really anywhere will show you that the city never actually disappeared. Yes, it lost power, but it never fully ceased to exist. And that's why what just happened is so incredibly significant, because this event could be the catalyst that causes all of the other dominoes to fall. Moving on to verse 2, this pretty much expounds on the first verse and elaborates on the desolation of the city. It says, the cities of Aroer will be deserted and left to flocks, which will lie down with no one to make them afraid. Pretty much saying that it will be completely uninhabited. Even the animals will lie down with nobody to disturb them. Third verse, the fortified city will disappear from Ephraim and royal power from Damascus. The remnant of Aram will be like the glory of the Israelites, declares the Lord Almighty. Now this is interesting because Ephraim is northern Israel territory, and I plugged fortified city or fortress in some translations into the Hebrew to see exactly what it was talking about. And we are brought to its military. So how could this all play into the Ezekiel 38-39 Gog-Magog war? Well, we know that all of these countries come together and invade Israel, and they do so when Israel is in a state of peace. We also know that Syria is not mentioned at all in this war. Now, when Damascus is completely destroyed, when the city is in ruins, that will be the beginning of Israel feeling safe and more secure. And it's interesting that this is all happening right now, because it's almost like there's a person that's going to get into office that's called the Prince of Peace that will further this peace and security that Israel will feel. For Israel to finally be safe and to prosper, we not only need a victory in our present wars against Hamas and Hezbollah, but we need a friendly U.S. administration to expand the peace circle and stand strong against the axis of evil. This certainly seems to be the direction we are heading. And it's at that point when Israel thinks it's safe, when Israel feels secure, that all of these countries gang together and they invade Israel. Now remember, Israel is like the size of New Jersey. So this war is going to look like a hamster up against a bear. All of these countries, including Russia, are going to gang together and come against small little Israel. And it will look like Israel has no chance. That's when God steps in, and he's going to defend Israel, and he is going to annihilate all of the enemies. He's going to annihilate all of these countries, and it's going to show the world the supernatural power of God. It is going to show the world God. He will come to rescue his helpless people using 4 methods to destroy the armies of Gog-Magog. He's going to bring about a great earthquake. Infighting will occur among the troops of the nations. In the aftermath of the earthquake, the armies will turn against each other, bringing about the largest carnage of death by friendly fire in human history. As a result, diseases will break out and spread, killing the remaining forces. There will be torrential rain, hailstones, fire, and burning sulfur poured on whoever is left of the decimated army. Remember, the tribulation is God pouring out his wrath on an unbelieving world. There's no normal things that will happen during the tribulation. No one at this time will say that this was an all-natural coincidence, climate change, or any other excuse to explain this victory. The eyes of many will be open to the fact that what had happened was the benevolent act of God on behalf of his people. There will be hell to pay for missing the rapture. There will be hell to pay for not recognizing that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. And you will have to endure the 7 years of tribulation on this earth when God is pouring out his wrath on an unbelieving world. But because our God is merciful beyond understanding, he still gives everybody who has blasphemed his name, who has cursed his name, who has turned their back on him, he still gives them a second chance to get saved during this period of time. So when we see this article and we read this headline, it's more than just, oh, Damascus has fallen. Jesus tells us that we are the generation that will see him return. And we are so close that we are actually watching the setup for the start of the tribulation in our news headlines. For all unbelievers out there, humble yourself, put away your pride, and realize that you need God. Realize that the Bible is real and it is playing out in real time. Jesus is waiting for you with open arms. He died for you because he loves you more than you could ever imagine, and he brings life. And for all believers out there, dive headfirst into Christ. Walk unashamed and boldly in his name, and go out into this world and share the gospel of Jesus. Share the love and the life that he brings. Because I truly believe that we are all going home a lot sooner than people realize.